Hello everyone, this is Cephalon and welcome to my Warframe video. Before we get started, if you enjoy Warframe build guides like this one, consider leaving a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out and you'll never miss future guides. Today we're taking a look at the Burston Prime Incarnon, a precision assault rifle that rewards accurate headshots with incredible single target damage. This build focuses on a raw viral heat setup together with primary acuity, allowing us to consistently land tier 5 red critical hits while dealing massive damage through precise headshots. One thing I really like about the Burston Prime is that it doesn't rely entirely on its Incarnon form. Even in its normal firing mode, it's already a powerful weapon that has no trouble handling steel path enemies. Once you activate the Incarnon form, the weapon becomes fully automatic, gains significantly higher critical chance, critical multiplier, and fire rate, while every shot also explodes in a 2-meter radius, dealing heat damage around the point of impact. The explosions aren't huge, but they make the weapon much more forgiving while adding extra damage around your target. Before we jump into the build, let's quickly go over the Incarnon Evolutions. For Evolution 2, we're using Fortress Salvo. It provides an additional 42 base damage, and while your armor is above 450, it also grants 2 meters of punch through, making it the strongest option for this build. For Evolution 3, I'm using Extended Volley. The additional magazine capacity makes charging the Incarnon form much more comfortable before needing to reload. If you don't mind the smaller magazine, Kinetic Battle is another excellent alternative, reducing the weapon's recoil by 50%. Finally, for Evolution 4, we're using Absolute Valor, which grants another 22% critical chance, bringing the weapon to 50% base critical chance before mods. This is the build I've been using throughout this video. Feel free to pause and screenshot it now if you want to copy it later. With that out of the way, let's break down the reasoning behind each mod slot. We'll start with Serration, our main source of base damage. I prefer having unconditional damage that doesn't rely on arcane stacks, although this slot becomes more flexible if you're using primary deadhead. Next is primary acuity, and this is really what the build is centered around. It grants plus 350% critical chance on headshots while massively increasing your headshot multiplier. Although the mod states it provides plus 350% headshot multiplier, it's currently giving approximately plus 525%, making it significantly stronger than intended. The downside is that it locks your multi-shot to 1, so your Incarnon meter charges a little slower. Even so, I still think it's well worth it if you're comfortable consistently landing headshots. To take full advantage of that, we're pairing primary acuity with critical delay and galvanized scope. Together, they push the weapon up to roughly 485% critical chance on headshots, allowing us to consistently land tier 5 red critical hits. While mods like Hammer Shot or Bladed Rounds can produce slightly higher theoretical DPS, critical delay keeps your critical chance much higher whenever you aren't landing perfect headshots. For critical damage, we're using Vital Sense. It's a mandatory mod that dramatically increases the damage of those constant red critical hits. For our elemental setup, we're combining Malignant Force with primed cryo rounds to create viral. Besides the innate damage bonus against corrupted enemies, every viral status effect increases the damage dealt to enemy health by up to 4.25 times at 10 stacks. To add heat, we're using the weapon's Incarnon form, which already comes with innate heat damage. This lets us benefit from heat status effects without needing another elemental mod while keeping viral as our primary elemental combination. For our final mod, we're using Gilded Truth. Besides providing 80% fire rate, it periodically triggers the Truth effect. When it activates, it deals 1000 gas damage with a guaranteed gas status effect to all enemies within 25 meters, restores 25% of your maximum health, and grants 25% parkour velocity together with increased wall latch and aim glide duration for 30 seconds. On top of that, the additional fire rate makes the weapon feel much smoother to use. For the Exilis slot, we're using Vigilante supplies. We don't actually need to max the mod. The only reason we're using it is for the 5% chance to enhance our critical hits, giving us an occasional boost to an even higher critical tier. The ammo conversion is simply a nice little bonus. For our Arcane, I'm using Primary Deadhead. Since this build is already focused on landing headshots with Primary Acuity, it's incredibly easy to keep the Arcane active. Besides providing a large amount of base damage, it also increases your headshot multiplier. What's particularly interesting is that the additional headshot multiplier also benefits from the current interaction with Primary Acuity, making headshots hit even harder. If you're consistently aiming for the head, Primary Deadhead is easily the strongest Arcane for this build. Before we move on to the alternatives, it's worth mentioning one mod that we're deliberately not using, Galvanized Aptitude. Normally, Galvanized Aptitude is one of the strongest damage mods available. However, on the Burston Prime Incarnon, it has a unique interaction with Fortress Salvo. The bonus damage from Evolution 2 isn't properly considered for the weapon's direct hits, making Galvanized Aptitude far weaker than it should be. In practice, it ends up giving only a fraction of its expected damage, so Serration is the much stronger choice. Outside of the main build, there are several worthwhile alternatives depending on your playstyle. If you don't want to focus on headshots or simply prefer charging the Incarnon meter faster, replace Primary Acuity with Galvanized Chamber. You'll lose a significant amount of single target damage, but the weapon becomes much more forgiving to use. If you're struggling against Overguard, Magnetic Capacity is another excellent option, adding magnetic damage to improve your performance against Eximus units. If you'd like even more critical damage and status chance, Hammer Shot is another solid alternative. And if you prefer a different feel, Prime Shred or Vile Acceleration both make excellent replacements for Gilded Truth, depending on whether you value punch through or additional fire rate. If you're lucky enough to own a Riven, the ideal combination is critical damage, toxin, and fire rate. Punch through is another excellent bonus. If your Riven has toxin, simply replace Malignant Force with it. Overall, I think the Burston Prime is one of the few Incarnon weapons that feels fantastic both before and after transforming. Even in its base form, it has more than enough damage for Steel Path, and once you activate the Incarnon form, the combination of explosive heat rounds, constant tier 5 red critical hits, and raw viral damage lets it melt even the toughest enemies with ease. Thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe for more Warframe guides. See you in the next one, Tenno.